So we're going to be talking about strapping safely loads down onto trailers, specifically today side-by-sides. We'll be using an open trailer because A, that's what I own, and B, it's so easy to show you the different ways of strapping things down. I will call out some differences for enclosed trailers because there are some differences that, an enclosed trailer guy might go, oh geez, I don't want to do it because it's, a hassle to get to or what have you. As we start, we'll talk about first some kind of general rules of thumb that I've gained from various trucking standards and industry recommendations. It comes down to this. When you strap loads down, you want 3G of your weight. And in regards to that machine, those machines dry are around 1,700 pounds. Wet, closer to 18. By the time you get, bumpers and even, aluminum roofs, but bumpers and winches and bumpers and spare parts and fire extinguishers, I call mine 2,000 pounds. And that's a generally acceptable number for most guys. So again, back to trucking standards. You're supposed to have 1G of resistance from the front, right? So basically you're resisting acceleration, right? 1G side to side so that it doesn't, fall off the side of the thing. And that's pretty easy to meet. And 3G braking, so from the back. So basically 6,000 pounds of back pull, 2,000 pounds of front, and you need 2,000 pounds side to side. And how you go about getting that is a couple of different ways. And we'll come back to that. Let's move into things not to do, because I sure see a lot of crazy things out there. One of them, and there are, it's just all over the place, but one of the things you see is people running really long straps and they cross brace. I want you to pretend that there's a razor sitting here, right? And that those represent the corners of your trailer. One of the things I see is guys do these big X's and they pull diagonally from the front of their razor to the back and the back of the razor to the front. I see a lot of this. Angles are bad, just to start out with. The trucking industry derates any non-straight pull, and that is straight relative to the line of the trailer, okay? So if you're trying to break up a load forward or back or side to side, then any strap that is not is substantially derated by its rated pulling strength. So you lose a lot of capability just because it's not a straight pull, right? You're trying to scissor these, just let's take these two, you're trying to scissor these. So you lose a lot of strength there. More importantly, I want you to think about what happens. Let's say we take this line right here and it falls off or it breaks. And there's a lot of circumstances, we'll come to that, right? But if that one falls off there, think about your load, okay? That load has really nothing stopping it from going that direction, does it? It's going to want to bounce. It's going to want to bounce and bounce and bounce this way as these stretch to allow it. Well, how much will they stretch? If you've got 14 or 20 foot of line there, and that's entirely likely you've got 20 foot of line, and it stretches, let's just say 1/10 a foot, that's 2 inches of stretch. Well, now we get to the conversation of arc, right? How much will 2 inches of stretch allow one of these ends to move, right? 2 inches of stretch over an arc this long, cripes, it'll be way over here, right? So there's a couple of rules that you're going to see. Anybody that knows anything about this are going to want to follow. They're going to want to follow straight lines, right? Because again, you're not derated. 2, when you run straight lines, you're not dependent on any one line if you lose it or break it, right? Next, you want to keep your line short so that stretch doesn't bite you. And of course, if you're running straight and short, now a straight line is the shortest distance it can be. If you run over at an angle, it can hop around and follow that arc. You can't follow it here. It's as short as it can be, right? So short and straight are two of the important watchwords in strapping. You want some redundancy too, right? The next thing you want to do is and I see this all the time too, guys strap down from, pull points here on their bumpers or on their A-frames or they'll grab points back here on their machine, and they'll strap down. And all of those points are loading. The machine is loading up against the suspension. Two things happen. One, actually three things happen. One, you're ruining the ride of the trailer because now the machine can't bounce up and down and let its own suspension soften the ride. So it pounds hard. Two, a strap going over like here, going over a corner, if this is bouncing up and down, and it's not because it's on a tire, but if this was strapped to here, this corner is going to start to fray. Now that's pretty well rounded, but these things don't fray unless you're going back and forth. And you're just sitting there like a knife if this load is bouncing, right? So as that load bounces, that line starts to fray. And that's how you lose them. Well, you lose them because the load's bouncing. You cut them right here because it's fraying. As it bounces, they tend to fall off. You see a lot of guys hook, like I have hooked here, right? And then they'll fall off. Well, why did it fall off? Because you were tied to the suspension. As the machine bounced, this kept getting loose, right? And it eventually bounced off, right? So you don't want to tie in any way that lets the suspension come up and down, right? Ruins the ride, and much less doing this to your frame or any other suspension point. You know, you're just taking one bad practice after another. So let's move into what are the things you do want to do, right? I use E-Track, and I carry this little E-Track adapter down with me, and I encourage you to do that too. So while I keep E-Track dedicated straps on my machine or on my trailer, if I was ever to get trapped with, straps got stolen, straps got lost, whatever it is, I keep a set of these, which lets me use my E-Track mounts and just use standard strapping. These are 2-inch straps, right? And you can, whether you run this is called a tire strap, whether you run a tire strap with these rubber blocks on it, which I've been doing this kind of stuff for 20 years, or you run a tire net, and there is an advantage and a disadvantage to tire net. The advantage to tire net is that you can have this not centered up perfectly, right? And use it, and it's not going to fall off so easily. These blocks really keep it from falling off. But here's an example. When I put this on the trailer, I did not put it up perfectly straight. As a result of that tire is not centered up underneath there, and that strap is on at an angle. That's not a good idea. If I was doing this for real, I'd take this back off and center that up. You can see over here, consequences of that, right? I'm way on the inside. So that's one of the things about tire straps is they are picky about making sure you're centered on your E-Track. If you don't center them up right, you best spend the extra money and get yourself tire net. Well, what's a tire net? A tire net is nothing more than a strap that has some extra webbing that comes across the outside and the inside so it won't fall off. It basically is a strap going across like this and a strap like that lasso sitting right there. You can see how it's on each side, right? So just think a strap that has the inner and outer, but connects in the center like a tire strap does. Now, what's the advantage of a tire strap? Well, you got a lot of advantages. One, look at this. This is 2-inch. This has a 1466 working load, right? Not brake strength, working load. So, just call that 1,500 pounds. That's 1,500 pounds, and while it's doubled up, you only count it one way. So I got 1,500 pounds keeping this tire of this way, right? Tire's got to deliver 1,500 pounds of this resistance. So I'm already, on my way, and I got 1,500 pounds keeping it from going backwards, right? I got to break this load for that tire to rotate. That's not going to happen. Do that across 4 tires, okay? 1,500 times 4, that's 6,000 pounds. Bam, there's my 3 tons. I got 3 tons forward and aft just using a tire strap. They are fast. I'll have that off there in 20 or 30 seconds each. I'll have it on in about a minute because I keep mine pre-measured. right? You know, the tie wrap on there, and this thing comes on and off real fast. Now, they're not for everybody. And if I was in an enclosed trailer, well, you know, getting in and out of these things is a bit of a hassle. It depends on how wide your enclosed trailer is. Sometimes you don't really like having to get down here. You know, your machine's muddy. You don't want to have to get to here. You don't want to have to get to here. Now, you're getting out of the machine anyway, so it's not a big deal, right? You drove it up. You're here. But some guys would rather have an easier answer that didn't require, you know, getting down on their knees inside an enclosed dark trailer and muddy wheels and what have you. If you don't want to do that, or you don't have E-Track, these lassos are pretty good compromise, right? Now, this is a custom-made, all my straps are custom-made. This is a custom-made lasso. Most lassos are one ring with a long strap, and then you're married to whatever the length of that strap is. I had my lassos custom-made with loops on, with these rings on each side, right? So that it was this length explicitly. It allows me to lasso my tire, right? Once again, just as that lets my machine be completely free, that tire strap, to bounce up and down and completely free, and compresses only the tire, right? And we'll talk more about that in just a second. The lasso does the very same thing, except now I'm only pulling forward. I have no back, right? At the same time, same tire rating on this, right? No, that one's 3,300 pounds. So, you know, if I ran a lasso at 3,300 pounds, and so what's the difference? Same size webbing, right? But this E-ring is much stronger. So now 3,300 pounds. So I've got 1.5 G just on that one strap pulling backwards. So I could run 2 lassos in the back and I'd have my 6,000 pounds. So lassos, plenty strong. And then realize you can use whatever you want to for, and I'm running a thinner. I'm running, this looks like 1 inch, might be 1.5 inches. As an example, right? Doubled up though, right? So I didn't read that, but I'm probably 2,000 pounds there. I'm certainly more than I need. So that provides a lasso, particularly a lasso like this, easy to get to. I didn't have to get behind the tire. I could be in an enclosed trailer as an example, throw it on and use any strap length, any strap I had, as long as it's strong enough, to whatever tie down point I have. So that's kind of the convenience of a lasso. I might think about lassos in a enclosed trailer versus, you know, I love E-Track in whether it's a tire strap or a tire net on my open. Another option, and I use this on everything, is to go through the rim rather than going through the tire. Just pass through the rim, right? Now, and again, go back to a tie down point. Same thing. This is 3,300 pounds, doubled up. I have 6,000 pounds so 3 tons of back just on this strap at all. Derated though, right? I'm at an angle, so it's derated. Now, I don't remember the percentage of derate, but it doesn't matter. That's 6,000 pounds on one strap, okay? I don't mind that minor bit of angle, even though it's not really that minor, but we're just fine because there's 6,000 pounds more over there. At 12,000 pounds, you can derate that all you want. Some guys, if their rims allow it, mine don't, use axle straps. That's what this is an axle strap, right? And they pass through with an axle strap. I have factory rims, and an axle strap end is such that you can't pass through. But, you know, you might think about an axle strap. An axle strap does allow you to go through, and you'll notice I've got some padding on there, right? But this has got it built into it, and there's $7-8 for a good axle strap. If you got rims such at using axle strap, now you can use whatever, just as I used whatever strapping up front I wanted. Now you can, you know, come through your tire and use whatever ends you want on your retention. Here's another trick, and I think highly of it and encourage it. This is a beltless strap or a hookless strap. Sometimes it's called an endless strap. There are no hooks on this. I have my straps custom made. This strap is certainly extra long, and so I would, if this was for real and I was traveling, this would be tie wrapped onto here. There's nothing to come off of there. This is one long belt attached here and no end on it. And so I just feed it through, crank it down. There's nothing to come off. You're going to have to cut this to get this off. All right. So beltless or endless straps, another good idea from trying to do something safe. So what does a load look like when I strap mine up and I actually travel with it? Well, aside from the fact that I would unload this and move this so the tire was over correctly, you can see it's just plain not safe. Well, I don't think it's safe. I wouldn't do it even though I've got these on here. I run a tire strap, so I've got 6,000 pounds of resistance already, 3G, already just from my 4 tire nuts. But I believe in redundancy. I encourage you to have some form of redundancy. I don't want to lose a strap, whether it's, weather, rain, it slipped, somebody cut it, it got old and frayed and I didn't notice it. You want to have some redundancy. So I run these 2 endless straps here and here. You see them, right? What is that? 12,000 pounds there, 12,000 pounds there, and 12,000 pounds. That's 36,000 pounds of this thing's not going anywhere, guys, right? Why is it 12? Well, this is doubled, right? So that's how I strap mine. Doesn't take long at all. Plenty of guys have noticed how quickly mine goes on. These tracks go on fast. I'm not fighting any ends. Loop it through, tighten it up. It's 2 tie wraps and it's done. I do something similar in the front. Again, I run 4 tire straps on it. If I was to do over, I might put tire nets on it. I might not have to think about it. And then I throw 1 strap and I go through. Now my A-arms allow, there's a crossbar here, allow me to go through. So I'm again pulling down and forward on the tire, right? I'm not loading my suspension up. I'm on the bottom A-arm, so I'm not touching my suspension, right? And I'm outward here. I don't crank this down very far. This is pretty loose, right? It's tight enough that I'm providing some redundancy to my front. I don't actually run the lasso. I carry my lassos with me everywhere I go when I travel with this, just in case I end up on somebody else's trailer that they don't have E-track, right? So if I end up without my straps, I got my E-track, kind of converters. If I end up on somebody else's trailer, I have 4 lassos, right? They can go to any set of tie down points. And of course, my endless straps. I keep all kinds of straps. You don't want to get caught without good and quality. All of these, you can see I'm running 2-inch straps everywhere. And then I keep, the inch and a half. Good ones. Don't go buy some Walmart Harbor Freight piece of crap that's well, so what these things do is they rate their brake strength, not their working load limit. And sometimes they even show the rating of the entire package. So you can buy straps that are saying, well, it's 1,500 pounds brake strength. Well, that's 200 pounds per strap. If they're selling you 4 of them, you get the idea. I'm exaggerating a little bit there, but they're not safe for anything other than tying down a ladder or something. They have no business tying down, a 2,000 pound, what would be a damn missile. If this thing ever came free. So that's it. I've gone fast, but I hope it's been helpful. It's all about a couple things, right? Don't tie down to the suspension. Tie down to your tires and your rims, or maybe the sides of an A-arm, the bottom A-arm, such that the suspension can move up and down. Try to run straight lines whenever you can, or as straight as you can, right? Because this eliminates the derating of the cable and requires that if the machine is to move, it's got to stretch a substantial degree. Try to keep your lines short. Again, you're eliminating cable stretch and the angularity problems that come from it, right? Otherwise, you've seen plenty of techniques, whether it's a lasso through the rim, lasso, tire net, or strap. I mean, that's 4 different ways. Plus, here's a 5th coming down through your A-arm. That's 5 different ways of tying a machine down. Some better for enclosed trailers. This through that A-arm's easy. You can do that from your side door, from your front door, your trailer. So can the lasso, right? So can your rear rim, by the way. Look at this. Coming through the rim, you can do this from behind the machine. So a guy in an enclosed trailer can do so many different things, not get muddy, not get dirty. I'd probably do the lassos myself, but this isn't hard either. Just a lasso is faster. I hope I've helped, guys. Again, anybody that wants to say, hey, a couple of those straps aren't tight, or hey, that's at an angle. This is just a quick mock-up to show you best practice. If I was actually traveling with it, that would be straight. Every line would be carefully checked to make sure it was, clean, good, no frays, not weathered, no twists. I'd go over it and make sure it was right. Another practice, by the way, you want to stick rubber bungee through your doors on both sides, here and the other side, so that if the door bounces open in the wind, just use a rubber bungee. I keep one actually that's on the floorboard of the passenger side. And bungee your doors closed so that just in case it bounces open, you don't rip a door off in the wind, right? So, that's another good safety practice. Keep some good chocks, by the way. Did you notice that razor's on this trailer and it's not hooked to a darn thing, and it wasn't when I loaded it. That's dangerous as heck. How'd I do that? Those are rubber, but I'm in Harbor Freight, but man, they work good because they're rubber, not some hard plastic Amazon piece of junk or chunk of wood. Those are real rubber and they don't move, man. When you put a trailer on there, they're not going anywhere. Then I block the back of the trailer up. I keep these real chalk, or they're actually tongue chalks, but I keep 2 of them so that I can put them behind the trailer. Now it's as simple as spinning the nose of the trailer up, right, on your wheel jack. You raise that up so that this trailer can't go up and down, right? I've lofted the nose so that it's lowered itself down onto those rear stands. It can't budge in any direction. Can't turn sideways, can't go forward, backward, can't go up and down. I can take that trailer and take that razor on and off of there at will without it being hooked up, right? So a lot of little things you can learn about how to get these machines on and off, do it safely, strap them safely, drive them safely. Here's another one. All right, there's all kinds of tricks out there. See those whips? When I put the whips in, I ran an extra just put trailer lights on it, right? And then I came in and I teed in here to this light. Now I run a connector between here, and I actually carry it. I can have extra taillights, right? These whip lights will light up and function off my trailer taillights. Pretty nice if you're out in the fog or hard rain or something like that and you're wondering whether you're going to get run down by somebody that's not paying attention. So that's it, guys. I hope I've helped. Have a great day. Be safe out there.